This is the Justin Cost Podcast.
Welcome to the Justin Cost Podcast. I'm really happy today to talk with my wife, Sarah Cost. How you doing?
Good.
Good. And I hear that you have some questions for me. I have questions for you. I'd call this the Sarah Cost Questionnaire, but it's going to be both of us. So I'm going to have you start first.
Okay.
What do you got for me?
So you want to just go ahead? Sorry, Leslie's right here trying to tell me something. Oh, no, just a second, okay? Okay, no. Maybe next time.
She can say hi just for a second. I'm cool with that.
Oh, no, she's coming back. Hey, say hello to Daddy.
Oh.
Hey, honey.
Okay, all right.
I'll interview her next time for sure.
Okay. All right, yeah, I thought it'd be fun if we asked each other some questions, so I'm going to go ahead and start.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your idea of a perfect Sunday?
A perfect Sunday? It would be being at the beach, glass of wine, just being able to watch the kids run around and play and stare at the ocean with you.
And then if you could compare yourself to any animal, if you compare, how you are, like what traits do you see in an animal that you think reflect you?
We've watched a lot of nature shows lately. I should be able to answer this really quickly, but, there was, I can't think of the animal, but there was a bird that I was connected to. I felt like that it was very similar to how I am being a father or being provider and protecting, and I have no idea what that bird was called. They go through so many on those shows, and then I think the first thing that I want to say is a lion, but I'm just not that alpha male, so I can't really answer that that way. It wouldn't be honest of me.
Okay. My next one would be if you won the lottery, what would you do with the money?
Well, that would be putting a recording studio together, putting a record label together, and a video production company, and I would start making Dayton artists blow up. I would do a lot of different things, putting on shows, and one day I hope I can do that, and we have the money to do stuff like that.
Okay, my next one is what did you want to be when you were 10?
When I was 10, when I was 5, I wanted to be a dad. I told my grandmother that at that age. At 10, I wanted to be a baseball player. And I was really getting decent with being an artist. At that point in my life, I didn't play guitar. I was playing drums for 5 years, and I still wasn't great, and where I eventually got to at like 14 or 15 when I really progressed at that instrument. So yeah, baseball player. Yeah. These are good questions.
All right, my next. Go ahead.
These are good questions.
Oh, thank you. I put some time and effort into it. My next one is what cartoon character do you most identify with? This is super easy for me, but I could see it being hard for you. So.
Yeah. Cartoon character.
Yeah, I watch a lot of cartoons, so this is like I could think of like 5, but you're not as cartoon. I guess the cartoon aficionado like I am.
I'm gonna go with. I was gonna go with Mickey Mouse, but Mickey Mouse isn't. Mickey Mouse thinks he's really funny. He's not that funny. Bugs Bunny was the comedian out of those two, and I'm. You have to really get to know me well to know that about me, but I'm always trying to make a joke and be silly and impersonate, which Bugs Bunny did quite a bit, so that's a good answer for that
true.
question. Yeah,
I think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is if you were a t-shirt, what color would you be and why?
If I was a t-shirt, I would be purple and I wouldn't have any logo or text at all. I think labels, as I get older, more and more, aren't great, and everybody wants to be opinionated. Everybody wants to have their opinions, and I feel like as I get older, I'm seeing that's a cluttered field to get into, and having an open mind is really, really important. So purple, which is also an open-minded color, it's got cool and warm colors. I really like purple.
Okay, and waffles or pancakes?
Waffles, and the main reason is because chicken, you can have fried crispy chicken with that, and that works. It doesn't really work with pancakes. And then waffles have pockets for butter and syrup. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to agree with that, except for blueberry pancakes. That's like the exception. I think.
Yeah, or any pancake like going out to eat, like maybe not the Pancake House, but Cracker Barrel and places like that. Yeah.
Do you believe in aliens?
Of course I do. Yeah.
Right.
Too much
Yeah, I
evidence out there to not.
But yeah, I agree. So if you could go anywhere in the time machine, where and what time?
I am really excited to see our kids grow up and what they turn out like, and that sounds really bad the way you say it that way, but I would go in the future, and I would like to see that a lot. That's something I look forward to. That's not the best answer because then I'm skipping out on a lot, so it's my first answer. My second answer, after thinking about that, would be 1990s. But I want to be in the 1990s at my age now. I wouldn't want to be in the 1990s when I was younger. I didn't know how great it was at that moment, at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
And if you had a boat, what would you name your boat?
I wish you would have asked me some of these questions earlier.
I gave you the opportunity, but I felt like
I didn't want to.
Better if it's
spontaneous and honest.
On the spot. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been. You would have known all the answers, and it would have been too planned. I think so.
It would be Jay Costify, or I'd name it after our kids, which is Spike and Wibbs.
That would be a good one.
Their nicknames, or you know what? It's really Squid, Spike and Squid. Of course.
The Spike and Squid.
Yeah.
That's a good boat name.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and this one we've talked about before. If you had to change your name or could change your name, what would you change it to?
Are we talking first name, or are we talking first and last name? Just
both.
Yeah.
Like a whole new name, different name completely.
It would be something that I have never really thought of yet. But I like Justin. I would probably change it to what it really stands for is justice. And last name, that's a tough one. I don't know. I would say I would like to name it after where we live, which would be Dayton or Kettering would be really cool. Not trying to take after that legacy there, either one, but I do like that. I would do something. Of course, I wouldn't do those two. I would do something completely different, something I haven't thought of yet, but would hold true to my beliefs and what my life stands for. And that name, I don't know, doesn't exist yet in my mind.
Okay, my next one is... Okay, this is a good one. What's your biggest screw-up in the kitchen? And I can think of like 5 right now, so...
My biggest screw-ups in the kitchen, anything burnt, really, really makes me mad. There's nothing you can do with burnt food. You could try to scrape it, and it's not going to look great. So that's one.
Do you think of like a specific time where we've had a catastrophe, or?
I know you can think of one. I can't right now. I'm thinking burnt pizza is the only thing that I come up with.
The best one that I can think of is you trying to take a full tray of chicken cacciatore out of the oven and it all going face up on the floor.
Yeah.
And I won't say whether we still decided to eat it or not.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I do remember that. I can still visually see it like on the floor. Yeah, that was an expensive dish too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so my next one is, if your pets could talk, what would they say about you? I think Bartleby and Salem might have different opinions.
Yeah, I think both of them would say, we love you, but you're a you're a jerk. But I'm not like that. I'm not. When they were younger, when they were kittens, I was always constantly getting on them about jumping up on the counter and where we eat and on the table and stuff. But they don't do that anymore. And then when they do, I know they're just doing it to get my attention, and they know they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of like brush it off. But they are great pets. They're the best pets that I've ever had. I rescued them, as of course you know, but people watching this may not know that. And they've been a great asset to our family, for our kids. And Salem, she would probably tell me that I don't pay attention to her enough. And and Bartleby, he clearly says hello.
Yes,
and so he's always doing that. And then, where's my food? It's always a need for Bartleby. Like, you're not doing something for him, so
right.
He's telling you.
Or belly rub. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so my next is, what is the weirdest dream you've ever had?
The weirdest dream that I ever had was a recurring dream, and I can mention this because a lot of the other dreams I don't remember, but this one I always do. When I was 5, I wrote a song about this. The song was called "Where Am I?" is what the song is called, off of Volume 6, and it's me in a stretcher, strapped down with clowns. My grandmother, she was really into clowns. My other grandmother was really into owls. This grandmother was into clowns, and I would see them and then go to sleep and probably think about those clowns, and they would torture me and pop balloons in my face with really long, sharp, shiny needles and laugh at me as I was crying. And then I'd wake up eventually. But thank you, Grandma, for that terrible nightmare and image.
It's horrifying.
It is, yeah. Yeah, still wanting to do a music video for that. Jenna Bell, old student of mine, wants to be a part of that at some point, because I've told her to.
I want to see that.
That one will be fun. Again, like I've talked about in these podcasts, people don't have the money. It's not worth and responsible to spend money on those things when you have a family, but when it's not going to get seen or heard like you like, or do very much. So one day, maybe. We'll see.
Okay. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Or 100 duck-sized. I would definitely go with the 100 duck-sized horses, because I have to see what that would look like.
And I feel like you could just kick them or stomp them, but like the one horse-sized duck, that's a problem.
That's terrifying.
So that's what I would say.
I think I'd have a hard time herding those tiny horses.
I know, it depends on how cute they are.
That's right, yeah.
Before you start stomping.
I'd take Wesley's babies and just be like, here, ride this person, go away,
Yeah. Spell diverticulitis.
What was the word?
Diverticulitis.
Diverticulitis is D-Y-V-E-R. Don't tell me if I'm wrong. D-Y-V-E-R. T-I-C-U-L-O-U-S. Oh, no, litis. Litis. L-I-T-O-U-S. I'm wrong, but go for it.
Okay. I won't correct you, but you cannot spell that word.
Okay,
so,
good.
There you go.
Never
What's
will
your
need
favorite?
to. Never will need to, honey.
Yeah, I won't tell you what it means. It's gross. So what's your favorite one-hit wonder band?
Favorite one-hit wonder band? People will be arguing with this one with me. Jimi Hendrix is considered a one-hit wonder, and I would choose him. He's not a one-hit wonder, so of course my answer has to be more than one answer.
I can't believe Hendrix is considered a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, to some people he really is, because they consider the only hit that he had was a cover of Bob Dylan's Watchtower. That poor guy, may he rest in peace and not be disrupted by those opinions. One-hit wonders, I'm trying to go through my head and think about a good one-hit wonder. And that band that does, they're a brother and sister.
Oh, Len.
Yeah. I think that whenever I hear that song, I'm really impressed with what they did. And on a lower scale that they did it on. That was really genius by them. Very, very catchy. And I don't get bothered by that song, even still to this day, and I've heard it a lot.
Yeah. I think the 90s had a lot of good one-hit wonders bands, like that song, Steal My Sunshine, and Space Hog.
That would be my other one, yeah.
Yeah, Sneaker Pimps. A lot of those.
Yeah.
So, on to the next, which is, what's a hobby that you would like to get into that you're not into? Like if you had, money to blow on starting a brand new hobby.
Yeah, I want to learn trumpet. You have the trombone down. I'd like to learn saxophone. Violin never seemed to be an instrument that I'd be interested in learning. But I do like that sound. I do like that instrument. And then if it's not about music, I would say getting back into being an artist like you are and drawing and painting, because I don't really do that anymore.
Yeah, that's good. I think you're a good artist, so that's a good idea.
Thanks.
And that's a wrap on my 19 questions.
Okay. Well,
So,
we're at 18 minutes. I'm going to go. We got another 12 minutes to go through. We can go past 30 minutes too. So, let's see here. Here we go. What was your favorite memory that you've had as a child?
Anytime I was in Canada, my parents took us to Canada every summer, and that place was really magic to me. We didn't have electricity or running water, and we went down to the well and pumped our water, and I ran around in the woods like a wild child and caught fish and ate fish for dinner, and came home when there was no more light, and there was the northern lights outside and loons, and that still is really magical to me. So every time that we got to go there was probably my favorite memory from childhood.
We have a lot of family we have a lot of things that are in common with similarities with our past, and that's one of them. I used to go up to Canada and fish with my family. You used to do the same thing, so I'm right there with you. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Ooh. Goodness, that's hard. I like pine trees because the way they smell, and they're so tall and full, and they're green all year round. So I would probably say that, or a birch tree, because they're just really neat and interesting looking. But I don't know. I'd probably say pine.
That's a good answer. Yeah. What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. So hard. I'm going to say Over the Garden Wall, even though it's not a movie. It kind of is because it's a limited series. There's no second season. It's one thing. It's one season. So I would consider that a movie, and I would say that that's my favorite. It's inspired me a lot in my own artwork. So
I would count that.
I really like it. I think it's really great. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. They put so much thought into it. The animation, the story, the characters, the voice actors that they get are incredible. Elijah Wood, John Cleese, it's the best. It's the best.
The music is really good too.
The music is amazing. Yes, and the scenery, the backgrounds, it's great.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, yes or no?
Oh my god, no.
No.
No. Lyrics matter. Intelligence and matters. And that's a big hell no.
Yeah. If you had to choose whether to listen to Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber for the rest of your life, nothing else, which one would it be?
That is horrendous. Oh gosh, for the rest of your life. Well, I'm going to take Taylor Swift because she does have a nice voice, and there's some content there, I guess. I don't really know any of her songs or her music, but she does have a pretty voice, I guess. Justin Bieber is just, it's a construct of other people have made him, and it's just so produced and auto-tuned, and, he's a package. He's not what I would consider an artist.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift does have, some sway in what she writes.
He also seems like a decent human being. I mean, she donates her money and really appreciates her fans, and that goes a long way.
I think both artists did what they could when they were younger, but and both artists' parents helped out quite a bit too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Who's your favorite comedian? I don't think I've ever really asked you that question.
Oh, George Carlin, I guess.
That makes sense.
Because I agree with a lot of things that he thought and talked about, and also in a funny way. And he's a little abrasive, like I can be, and I like him. Also, but more like recent, I would say Kumail Nanjiani, because he's been in so much now, and he's so funny, and he's so likable. But yeah,
those are good. I think that's a good thing to mention when you talk about George Carlin. That cynicism that he has, you wonder if he even had like a looking at a bright side of life. I'm sure that he did, but that's definitely something that both of us have kind of helped each other out with. You know what I mean? Like where you've been really cynical, and I've been kind of the positive, cheery one, trying to look on the bright side. Well, it's us been married for like 12 years. It's kind of done a little bit of a switch, and even my family has kind of noticed it a little bit, which to their perspective might not be a great thing, but I think, and everybody else should think, that it's a really good thing, because you want to have that balance of the reality of things that are upsetting, that make you upset, but then also have an understanding of you and your life and what you can do to make things better, and to not constantly look down on things, and the balance of positive and negative are huge, and sometimes they can weigh in the wrong ways, where if you're a positive person over too much, then that causes and will cause issues in your life if you constantly look at things that way. And so that's something that I love about our marriage, and I would love to share with everybody else, which is why I'm talking about it right now. So that's something cool that we have. And the next question I have is, what's your least favorite fruit, and then what is your least favorite vegetable?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say mango. I just I don't. It has like a weird undertaste to me, I think.
Really tart, yeah.
Yeah, like almost like a bitter tart aftertaste.
You think you want it, but then you eat it, and you're like, wait a second, this is not a peach.
It's a little slimy, too. It has a weird texture. Like, I've never been able to get into mango. If it's, like, in a drink or something, that's different. But just, like, straight up eating a mango, not really. And then least favorite vegetable. I would say Brussels sprouts, but we've, like, kind of figured out how to cook them now, so where they're, like, good. So, green beans or peas.
There you go.
Probably.
Yeah. When I wrote that down, I was going to say that's probably what the answer would be, peas. How do you think that rock music could improve?
How it can improve?
Yeah.
Rock seems so dead right now. I feel like it definitely needs a resurgence or comeback. I don't know how that's going to happen. I think we got away from real instruments somehow. A lot of technology has moved in and taken place of people just learning new instruments. And so there's a lot more, technological influence in music now, instead of, you don't hear as much just, bands and musicians, which is good or bad. I don't know, Some people, like Getty, for example, he said once that he could get his ideas better out on a keyboard or using synth or whatever, and I think that helps people maybe write music or get their ideas out, and that's great, but I don't think there's any replacement for real instruments and bands and putting music and writing music together like that. So just more of that, I guess. I don't really know what the answer is, but I think rock is dead right now, and it's sad. I wish it would come back.
Yeah. need to do more with real instruments and then incorporating. There's some bands that do it really well, incorporating electronic instruments. Rush, as you mentioned, Geddy Lee would be one of those groups. I think that there's a sign that it could be changing eventually. That prog rock scene could come back, which would be great. And I think that a lot of it has to do with representation and what you're about. And a lot of times rock comes up when there's political stuff going on, which there is, of course. And who knows? We'll see. I love I love rock and always have. So I'd like to see that come back. What is the most memorable moment that you have performing on stage? As we've mentioned, you've played trombone, first chair. Do you have any memory of that? Any memorable moment?
Yeah, a few. I played the Nutcracker at a concert once, and I love the Nutcracker, so that was, really fun for me to get to play it myself with a big band. And then I was in a quintet in high school, and we ended up getting first place, and that was really fun. So anytime that I was with the jazz band and when I had to do a solo or something, it's exciting, it's terrifying, it's also exciting, but always memorable. And those fun times for me to play in front of other people and learn my instrument and hone my craft. And I really liked jazz band specifically. But yeah, it was a fun time.
I thought you were going to mention the time that the person threw up in there.
It was a time, I guess, yeah. Trying to go positive with it, but most memorable, yeah. I was at a concert, and my family was out in the audience, and so was everybody else's, and saxophone player, I believe it was a saxophone player, she threw up in the middle of the concert and sprayed everybody in the front of her, which was, I believe, the French horn section. It's all over the back of everybody's legs and just puke everywhere. And we had to continue to play. Our conductor wanted us to continue to play, and so I'm just shaking, laughing, and basically faking playing because it was just so hilarious. But yes, and gross, yeah.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
So we've been in a little bit of a transition period with you and your art, where you have a lot of different things that you're doing now, where you were doing the photography, did the colored pencil drawings, moved into painting. Painting has opened up a lot of different doors for you, and so now we have enough inventory and product to start selling some of this stuff at fairs, festivals, and restaurants, of course, if they're willing, because we've done that before at Christopher's, for example. So that's really exciting for me. That's exciting for you. You do artwork for me and other artists, music artists in the Dayton area. My main question for you that I'm excited to ask today is, what projects do you have right now that you're excited about?
Well, as you know, I've got like 10 projects going at once usually. So I'm really into the furniture restoration, just finding furniture on the side of the road, fixing it up, making it brand new. I love doing that. A lot of the pieces in our own home come from that. Also painted rocks, but taking it to a new level where it's high quality painted rocks. They're sealed, they look great. You can put them inside your house or outside your house. And lots like Halloween, Christmas, little houses. I've done fruit. The rock monsters is a big one I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to kind of bring back the pet rock thing, which I think is fun. But also, I love doing landscapes. I have, I think, 70 landscapes in the house right now, which is insane. But I also like to do, wood carving. I've done staffs. I've done wands. I decorate pine cones for Christmas. Basically, if it involves paint or wood carving or anything like that, I do it.
That's awesome.
So if you want to check out any of that, anybody that's watching, you can get it on Instagram and go to Snow 8 Rose Art. Snow, the number 8, Rose Art, all one thing. The Etsy page is the same. And the Etsy page isn't, I think I only have like 12 paintings on there right now, but the Instagram will give you a better idea of kind of the variety. But yeah.
my grandmother did a lot of the same types of stuff that you do, the crafts, and I really love that. She passed away about a year ago, always thinking of her, and I see you and her, which is neat with the art projects. Really like what you're doing. The pumpkins are great. I love those Christmas pine cones. Those are really, really neat. People like getting those at that time of year. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. We're gonna be gourds. Yeah,
They're the gourds. We like to grow our own and then paint them, so that makes it special.
Right, and gosh, there's more we haven't mentioned. So really cool, what we're doing there. How do you think music in general could change for the better? We talked about rock. You probably already answered this question, but I'd like you to answer specifically on the lyric section, because right now I'm working on music, and it can be difficult. As you know, I've talked to you about this with lyrics, and what you say in songs really can make and break a tune. What do you say to that with modern music?
I mean, I don't think everything, when it comes to lyrics, I don't think everything has to be serious or deep. You can have fun songs that are just fun and upbeat. You can have a song that's about a cat or whatever, but it's got to make sense, and it's got to be, it has to make sense. My only pet peeve, like, with lyrics is just the nonsense. Like, as we talked about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, okay? I mean, you can't just say, walking like a sauerkraut, and stuff like that. I don't feel like music needs to be dumbed down. I don't think that you need to dumb anything down. You can talk about what you want to talk about, but it's got to make sense. It's got to jive. And that's really my only issue with lyrics. I just feel like you don't need to dumb things down for people. And you got to put a little bit of effort into it. Because I think it does matter. It doesn't have to be deep, but the lyrics matter. But yeah, and music in general, I think that what gets in the way is the popularity almost. Like something becomes popular because the person is marketed a certain way, or because they have 12 producers and somebody, and a bunch of people help them write this song, and like it just needs to be more real, just more real people, real musicians, real artists, real music, I think a lot of stuff is just phony now, and so just overproduced and too much,
Yeah, it's about making money.
Yeah.
You can hear it. Yeah. I have an album that is really poppy I'm working on right now, and there's a lyric that I have in one of my songs, and we were walking around at the mall, and one of these newer songs came on and used that same exact phrase, and I made fun of it, and we both laughed, and then it was like, oh yeah, I'm saying that in one of my songs. So yeah, it's important, as I've stressed to other people, to be as different as you can be, so you can separate yourself from other people while still making your music universal sounding. That's a tough task, and it's something I've worked on since I've been in college, and a lot of stuff has already been done, so
that's part of it. It's hard to come up with, a lot of things have been done. That's why, I don't write music. I was a musician, but I've never written lyrics. But I think that if you just use your own experiences would be helpful.
Yeah.
Telling
stories.
Right, just being authentic and real.
I love it. That's what people need to hear. If you were a Muppet, which one would you be?
Oh, Janice.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good one. Of course, I would be Animal, so,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw that out there, That's obvious. Do you, what new music do you listen to now?
See, I'm a big hypocrite because I don't venture out too much because I'm not really into what's popular right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like good rock bands are far and few in between.
You like Billy Strings a little bit.
I do like Billy Strings a lot. Very, very talented guy. But I've been going back to jazz a lot. As you know, we're really both into jazz right now, and I am a big classical music fan. So that's something I fall back on when I don't, feel like venturing and looking into new things. I, listen to jazz and classical. but I'm a prog rock person. Probably should have been born in the 70s. It's hard for me to accept new music sometimes.
Well, you went to the art museum yesterday, here in Dayton, and it is a fact that what has been done in the past, and now getting more into not the most recent past, but the distant past, we were in a different territory, and art was better than it is now. Classical music is pretty complex and takes a lot of thought and a lot of work, a lot of people, and you've got these paintings that people have done. Back in the 1700s, there was some stuff that you were showing me that were even in BC that was really good art pieces. Faces showing really, really good expression. You just don't see that anymore. You see it in the digital realm of things. You don't see it on the the paintings and
right.
You don't see it.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of great digital art out there, and I don't want to knock digital art or how people get their creativity out, but I think that we're definitely missing, and this is the same with music, people doing things by hand.
Traditional, yeah.
Yeah, drawing and painting by hand, getting your ideas out on paper or writing music down, playing an instrument. I think, sometimes technology holds us back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think we kind of live in a narcissistic society with social media and that takes away from real creativity.
Think about what we're saying, though. We're putting our art through a vessel, which is electricity and electronics and the internet and software and computers. And that tends to disrupt things. You've got a piece of paper that artist held. There's so much emotion and feeling that went into it that you can't replicate like you would be able to do like that way as opposed to on a computer is what I'm trying to say. So
right.
That's huge. You're transforming the energy, and it kind of cuts some of it off.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because we use the internet and social media to get our work out there. But, I think it also kind of detracts a little bit as well,
right.
Having that influence. And
this goes back to the positive and negative mindsets and attitudes. There could be a good balance of the two if you do it right. Being thoughtful about it. So I got some fun ones because we got that business stuff out of the way. I love talking to you about that. I think people should hear your perspective on these topics. But here's some fun questions for you. What is your favorite Justin Cost song?
I'm gonna say the one that you just put up with the music video On the Way Out, and I just put it on my profile on Facebook. I just think it's a really, really beautiful. It's pretty. It sounds beautiful. I mean, it's just it's one of those songs that like gives you goosebumps and makes you think about things and kind of transports you a little bit, and it's like hauntingly beautiful, and I just really like it. It's my favorite.
I did that in college. I did it in the beginning of my freshman year. It really wasn't. It was more my sophomore year because I went to ICB first. But my first year at Full Sail is when I did that. And I was living in an apartment. Starting to feel like a little bit out of place, not knowing anybody really there except for my roommate. And I put a lot of work into that. I wasn't speaking with you at that time, and I really wanted to. That's a whole nother story. But that was a time where I did have a lot of emotion stirred up and really, really liked that one. Another thing I'll say about that song, just real quick, is that a lot of my songs don't change keys very much and transpose. That one does, and it does in a really important way. And it starts out kind of dark and mysterious, but then at the end there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, and it has a really cool orchestral New Orleans type style of music in the background. There's like frogs, and it's raining at the end. I really like that one. Thank you. Here's one that only you will know the answer to. What will the next Justin Cost album look like?
Oh, okay. Well, there's going to be, and I don't know what order you're doing this, but I know there's a tiger in the future because it's Year of the Tiger. And then the next one I'm doing, and this isn't solid yet, it's just an idea. You had done a painting in high school that we still have, and I wanted to replicate it, redo it, and just slightly change it a little bit, but not too much. And so it would be our first album cover where we both worked on the artwork.
Yeah.
And I just think that would be cool. I think that's what I might do. It's not done yet. It's sitting here on my art table and staring at me, breathing down my neck. But, yeah.
That's going to be exciting. I'm cool. I'm looking forward to that. So what we're talking about is Volume 7, and then Volume 8 will be the Tiger album. And I'm excited about that Tiger album. But, yeah, without talking just about me, that's pretty much all I had for you. If you had one question left, if you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? And I know Stephen Colbert says on his questionnaire, what song? I don't think that's fair to listen to one song for the rest of your life. That's not cool. So what album? Yeah. It could be a greatest hits. It could be a soundtrack. You could cheat a little bit.
Oh, man. That's so hard. It's going to be...
It's Chronicles.
I mean, that is a good kind of splice of a lot of things. I would say, oh, God. Power Windows, maybe.
By Rush, that is, yes.
Yeah, oh, my God. So, Power Windows, maybe, or, Test for Echo, or...
I like that one.
Yes, Close to the Edge.
Me too.
Or,
You'd like Fragile, too.
Maybe. It's so hard to pick one. It's one of those, but also, the Cramps, Stay Sick. I could listen to them forever, probably.
That one's fun.
It's one of those.
Well, that's how I felt in every one of the questions you asked me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is tough. Wish we would have got a little sample beforehand.
I try to keep it creative.
Yeah. Well, we should do it again. Love you. Thank you for doing this with me.
Love you.
Bye.